Welcome back to the Mulberry Book Drop. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, girl.
Oh, I'm so excited to be back.
Me too.
I'm actually not going to waste any time because the reason we're here, we're actually kind of pumped about, if I'm honest. We're here to talk about plot twists.
Yeah.
We love plot twists, don't we?
We do.
Sort of like, did you ever watch that movie, The Sixth Sense?
No.
Oh, see. I don't know if I should say the spoiler in case any of you haven't, but I remember that was the first time I had that moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, the kid was all along. It was like a whole, yeah. I mean, people were, yeah, it was a shocking movie for a lot of us.
I'm not going to lie. I already knew that.
Okay.
So, you didn't spoil anything for me.
Phew. I mean, it's an old movie, so at this point, I feel like if I spoiled it for you, like, it's time to move on, I guess. I don't know. Okay, Sarah. Mm-hmm. How much do you love plot twists?
Oh, I love them so much that I try to live them out in my day-to-day life.
Do you want to tell them what happened?
I do.
Okay.
So much. Okay, so, I mean, I know we're in February, but think back to Christmas time. And I ended up going on a trip over Christmas. Was it planned for me to go? Nope. But basically what happened is I looked at our boss and I said, what are the odds that I can get, like, whatever, the Friday after Christmas off? And she was like, for what? And I said, and my best friend had texted me and said, hey, do you want to go on this cruise? And she was like, we leave tomorrow. And I said, huh? And so I talked to my boss and she was like, you know what? It's fine. Like, we have the coverage. Sure. And so I texted my best friend and I said, full send it, book me. And so she books me. And I left on a cruise the next day. And so I love spontaneous things, good things, spontaneous good things. And yeah, so we love a good plot twist. And then I posted, nobody knew I was going on this trip. Like the only people, like I had talked to my mom beforehand. And I said, hey, are you cool if I go? And she was like, sure. P.S. I also didn't know where we were going. She asked me if I wanted to go on a cruise and I said, sure. And then I was like, so where are we going? And I literally, no one in my family knew. None of my other friends knew. And I posted on my Instagram story. And I said, do it for the plot. And it was us on a cruise ship. And I was like, well.
I think you were like a cruise performer in a previous life or something, maybe.
Oh, listen, like, if I had another dream job, if I could do both of these simultaneously, it would be amazing. Work at a library and be a cruise director.
Well, you said there's the library on the cruise ship. So
there is,
maybe...
but I want to be a cruise director, I think. Like, of the fun squad. So I would have to work on Carnival. It's fine. Anyways, yeah. So how do you feel about
I love a plot twist. My holiday was wonderful, but my plot twist wasn't anything like yours. So we did surprise our kids. Their Christmas gift this year was the Capybara Cafe.
That's still really fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I know the experience itself, you're only in there for like a very limited amount of time, but it was totally worth it. And we all loved it. And we definitely asked, what does one have to do to have a capybara at home with them, and we were declined. So, which my family was like, I don't understand. They eat the same thing you do. Like, we already have the food. And then we also were like, they're so chill that they totally reminded us of Norbert.
Aww.
Because we're like, they would like get along so well. And yeah, so that didn't happen.
Wait, so are you allowed to have one as a pet at all?
No.
No?
No.
Oh.
I know, it's a bummer, but it was really cool. I think the experience itself, like, we would definitely go back because they also have like a special lemur experience and some of those kind of things. So
fun.
We did the one over in St. Pete, but I guess there's also one in St. Augustine. Oh. I don't know, they're around like various places.
Okay, interesting.
So yeah, it was very cool.
Guys, if she ever sneaks one out, that would really be a plot twist.
Could you imagine? Like, I'm taking the animals for a walk.
Oh my.
What
Never
is that?
returns.
They're so cute, though.
That is funny.
The city also had a little twist that we all knew was coming and we're very excited about. And we just want to give one extra congratulations to our former city manager.
Yeah,
so Rick
that's
Johnson.
so weird.
I know, I can't believe I said that. Rick Johnson retired just last week, actually, and we're so excited for him. And we know he'll still be around. Grateful for everything that he did for the city, but you know, we're all looking forward. We have a great team, and I think we're just going to continue with the path that we've been on, and maybe some other cool stuff. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
so,
cool dude.
Cool dude.
Cool dude. Did a lot of great things.
Yep, cool dude. Hawaiian shirts.
Yep,
it's all Hawaiian shirts now.
Yep. Every time someone sees him, everyone's like, "Oh, he's in a different one."
Yes, it's great. Oh, wait, we had another great plot twist.
We did.
Sarah, what was it?
Guys, we made a list. This podcast right here that you are listening to, we made a list on FeedSpot. And it's like feedspot.com. And they come out with these lists. And we are on the 15 best book podcast in Florida. They ranked us as number 7. Number 7. I was like, oh, how cool. Like, we're on this list. And here I am thinking we're going to be like, okay, number 15. No diss to number 15, because I'm sure they're great. But I was like, we're in the middle of the pack. We're in the middle of the pack. I was like, oh. And I opened up our email and I said, oh, weird. We have this email from someone. And, you know, I mean, we do occasionally get like, you know, like the scam emails or just, you know, like spam. And it was we didn't apply for it. We didn't even know it existed. And it was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
And we were so excited. And so we posted on our social media. So if you follow us, you saw it. And we were like, of course, we're going to shout out, you know, FeedSpot, because how cool.
Yeah.
So you should definitely take a look at their website, because if you love book podcasts, they have other ones on there. Don't stop listening to us, pretty please. But they have a bunch of different lists of different podcasts that you can check out too. So I thought that was really cool.
It really was. And then we also looked at our 2025 wrap up that Buzzsprout had made for us. And we found out that we had been listened to in 41 countries.
Wild.
And 306 cities. So the most popular was Lakeland, Florida. So thank you, Lakeland. We do love you. But yeah, we were really surprised. I'm like, when we were guessing, you know, how many countries do you think? And, you know, we were like, I don't know, maybe like a handful. So when I saw that number, I was totally shocked.
41. That is crazy.
Yeah. So, but really it's, you know, it's you guys. It's your love of books, your kindness, your understanding about our recording space. My dog is laying here sleeping in his bed next to us right now. But, you know, it's your downloads, your subscriptions, and, you know, we're super grateful. This is a really fun thing that the city has allowed us to include into our job description. And we're so grateful every time that we get to come in here and put something out for all of you.
I love it.
It's so good. Okay. Books, though.
Yes.
We're here for books.
Yes, we are.
So, Sarah, how much do you love a plot twist in a book?
Oh, do I love a juicy plot twist? Absolutely. What do you mean? Like, do you?
I do. So I actually looked up just some information about plot twists, like a little bit of stuff online. And do you know who made like almost all the lists for like the author with the best plot twists?
I mean, I have a guess.
Okay.
But I'm going to go ahead and let you say it.
Okay. It's Agatha Christie. Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
You know, at first I was like, really? But then I'm like, no, that does make sense.
Yeah.
But have you...
I feel like she's one of the OGs.
Yeah. Have you like officially read any Agatha Christie books?
So, because I knew this was coming, I have. And so I did Google, because I was like, I really haven't read that many, if I'm being honest. And what I've read has actually been in like the last 2 years. I forgot that we did Crooked House for Film Club. Mm-hmm. Totally forgot. And I also read Murder on the Orient Express. And then I did look to see if I had seen any movies. And so I did watch Murder on the Orient Express, Crooked House, of course, for Film Club, Death on the Nile, which I believe is newer, and Then There Were None. But fun fact, I've actually never read, and Then There Were None.
Okay, well, you have far beaten me in this competition.
Really?
Because when I was looking through my stuff, I really have not.
No?
And the funny thing is, I am very familiar with the writing style and like the idea of the story. So like the whole And Then There Were None, where you're like, everybody goes to this remote location and you're kind of picking off the people one by one.
Right.
So like that idea and that way of storytelling, I'm incredibly familiar with, and I always think of it as Agatha Christie style.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have never actually completed one of her books that I am aware of.
I will say the 2 books that I've read by her, one was, of course, for Film Club. The other one was actually for one of our reading challenges. For the adult reading challenge a couple years when we did the decades.
Okay.
That was one.
That's cool.
I won't share my feelings on them. But.
That's okay. Well, and the other author that I was thinking might have made the list, and I don't remember where they ended up, but Anne Perry was the other like mystery author that I was kind of thinking of.
That makes sense.
Because I've read a couple of Anne Perry's books, and I think kind of the same where it's always those fun mysteries with like a big at the end.
Yeah, makes sense.
So okay, so after a little discussion, Sarah and I came up with a short list of plot twist books, but I do want to give just a quick warning. There are going to be spoilers in this episode. I would say that these books have been around for quite a while, so there's a really good chance that you've already read them. Right. But, if for some reason you think to yourself, ooh, I think I'm interested in that one, you can pause, you can skip, you can come back. We don't want to ruin anyone's reading experience. So, Sarah, we're going to start off with our list. What is your first plot twist book that you want to talk about?
It is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. I think I'm saying your name right. So if you don't know, Amy faked her disappearance to frame her cheating husband. Her diary was all faked, and we are meant to not trust Nick. The ending is insane, though, because she comes back pregnant with stolen sperm and traps Nick into staying with her. Dysfunction much? Oh my goodness.
This book.
Listen, we had to do this for Film Club. And, I knew a little bit about Gone Girl, before we did it. But, I actually didn't. And I'm reading this, and I'm reading it, and I'm like, what? The whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, this is insane. And I was like, I feel like that's a book that had never really been written like that before. Mm-hmm. So, I'm not going to lie. I loved it. It was so messed up. But, what a good time.
I read it twice because I read it originally when it came out, but then I reread it when my husband read it so that we could watch the movie together. Okay. And there was definitely stuff that I had forgotten about because there was so much that happened in that book.
So much.
Yeah. It was plot twist after plot twist.
For sure. I'm still kind of baffled by it. And part of me is like, should I rewatch it? Should I reread it? Because the whole time was like, no, where is sis? And of course I was kind of like, she's got to be alive. Mm-hmm. Right? But then it's all the other stuff that just falls into it. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, this isn't normal. Nothing about this is normal. What is happening right now? So yeah, that was a good one. But I also, it made me think of how many authors have kind of taken that style and ran with it. And so, just to name a few, nowadays we have, Frida McFadden, Colleen Hoover, and Geneva Rose, and all 3 of those ladies have been topping the book charts for the past couple of years. So people love those kind of plot twists because they're so shocking and unexpected. And it's almost like, most books have one plot twist, and now you're getting books that they're adding, 3 or 4 plot twists, and you're like, all right. Now sometimes I do read them and I said, we didn't need all those, but didn't need to add to the story. But it's crazy how much that style, and I feel like Gone Girl was one of the first books to do that. And so now, seeing other authors kind of not copy that style, but take on that style too, is really interesting.
I think Flynn also made the idea of the unreliable narrator acceptable.
Yeah.
I think that was a huge thing. And then that's what kind of spins us into the whole fast-paced thriller.
Yeah.
It's like a whole genre into itself.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Gotta say. So what's your first book?
So the first one that came to my mind was Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk. Have you ever seen the movie at least?
Nope.
Okay, I know you hadn't read the book. So the book and the film, if I recall correctly, are a little bit different, but the main twist is the same. So Tyler Durden, who Brad Pitt played, is not a real person.
Wait, what?
I know. He's actually the narrator who was Edward Norton's character. It's the narrator's alternate personality that he created to deal with his mundane life.
What?
I know. It's so good. The movie, obviously, it's meant to be cinematic, but the book, it's the narrator. It's the narrator is kind of thinking that he's like in heaven, but really he's in a mental hospital. And we're just like waiting for Tyler to return. It is a wild ride. And even if you haven't seen the movie, like you've probably seen clips of Fight Club where like all of those dudes are
Fight Club.
Yes, like so the basics without actually having to.
Had no idea that's what the actual thing was about.
It's wild. And it is the first book that I had read by this author, and I was so invested in it. And like I just remember when all of a sudden everything was just sort of like, oops, actually, here you go. I was like,
crazy.
What?
Yeah.
And I just, and I immediately was like, I need to read more by this author. And I actually think Fight Club might have been one of my first, like, most memorable plot twist books, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm trying to remember what year it would have been, but it would have been, like, probably recently after college. So, like, I would have been in my early 20s when I found this author. He's really good early 20s author. One of those kind of writers. But, it blew my mind. So, yeah, Fight Club.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I kind of want to see the movie because I've never seen it. I don't know that I'll commit to the book, if I'm being honest. This is a book podcast, I know. I just have a lot.
We can watch the movie. I would totally rewatch it with you. Because while I was thinking about this, I'm like, I haven't watched that movie in a while.
And I've never watched it.
Yeah.
If I had known that it was, because in here I was like, why do I want to watch like a movie about like a fight club? Like I just had no interest. And I'm like, wait, what?
It's about so much more. And it's one of I'm like, I know it's like an unpopular opinion, but I don't always love like Brad Pitt movies. It's not necessarily about him. It's just kind of like the movies. But there is just like a small, like little collection of standout ones for me. And like this is one of them. So like this one or Seven, like I love Seven, so he's got just a couple of movies of his that always kind of just stick in my mind.
And I've only seen maybe one or two of his movies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep. So, okay. What is your next?
Okay, so this one, of course, like Bethany and I both read it, and it's called One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. And I feel like we talked about this, but like years ago on the podcast, like when we first started. But you're trying to figure out who killed Simon, who's a gossip blogger. They're all in this detention room, and this kid dies, and you're like, what happened? Oh my goodness. And you're like, who killed him? And so you're trying to figure out the whole book, who killed him, only to learn that he killed himself.
Simon.
This book had so many twists. It's like you just remember being surprised. And I like the way that Bethany talks about this book. She says like it's a random book that you didn't try to solve, but rather just sit back and enjoy the ride. And she's written quite a few books since then. And some of them, like there was a sequel to this one, but some other ones. And I feel like that's kind of how all of her books are. Like you're not like, who did it? And you're just like, no, let's just, let's see what happens. But I was telling Bethany that I feel like this book almost has subtle hints to 13 Reasons Why, if you're familiar with that book. The main character unalives herself, and all these tapes come out, basically, leading to what happened. And I feel like it's kind of like what Simon, because then all of a sudden all these people's secrets start coming out that like he knew, and they didn't want these secrets to get out, which is one of the reasons that you're like, well, who did it? Because whose secret they wanted to protect, only to find out that it was none of them.
I can see that connection.
Yeah, you can? Okay, cool. Because I was like, maybe I'm just,
No, I can see what you mean. And I will say, too, just for anyone who's curious about the book, it is a YA book, but we both read it together.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was fast-paced. It was fun. It was, I don't know. I liked it. So I'm just saying, YA or adult fiction, whatever. If you want to read it, read it. It was a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, what's your last one?
Okay, my other one is We Need to Talk About Kevin by Lionel Shriver. And have you ever seen this one on the shelf?
I have actually never heard of this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the format of this book, it like leads you to think that Eva, the mother, is like writing letters to her estranged husband, and they had like lost custody of their daughter after their son had committed a school shooting. So it's like heavy subject matter, right? However, the big reveal in this book, like, so the whole time you're led to believe this one thing, right? And then all of a sudden you turn a page and the big reveal is that the husband and the daughter have been dead all along. having been murdered by Kevin. So, huge spoiler alert, guys. I'm sorry. And I actually kind of want to reread this book because it's been so long. But this kind of was one of those things where it results in your copy of the book being thrown across the room as you like gasp for air. Because
that is actually crazy.
Yes, I was so invested in like what was going to happen and if her and the husband were going to be able to like figure this stuff out, and and then all of a sudden I'm like, what?
That is actually wild.
Yeah, and I had to like put the book down for a second. Like I read it a long time ago, but I remember setting the book down and just being like, what is happening right now? And did I miss something? And then like going back to it and being like, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah. And I had very strong feelings the first time I read it because my kids were really little when I read it. Yeah. Now they're like older and grown, and I'm probably closer to Eva, our main character's age. And so now I'm like, I wonder if I reread it, like if I would have different feelings, because I don't know if I connected 100% to maybe some of the stuff she was saying. Like, I've lived more life now, and, sometimes that can happen with books. And it is one of those ones that I randomly think about sometimes that I'm like, I wonder if that would hold up as a reread.
I think I might want to read this one.
It was, it got me.
Yeah.
It got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was so fun.
Yeah. Ooh, I really do want to read that one.
You guys, this list could have been so long. We were like, how are we going to narrow this down to 4? Because we don't want to like ruin every book for every person. And like, we read a lot of books, and our coworkers read and tell us about a lot of books. And I was like, we really should just maybe 4.
Yeah.
So
only ruin 4 of them for you guys. You're welcome.
So bad. But so we're going to just kind of keep it right at that. We're not going to go too crazy with this one. I am curious what you guys feel about plot twists, or maybe if you have a book out there that you think perhaps we haven't read yet that might shock us. I would love to know, because I do love those kind of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I do have one more question, though, before we go.
Okay.
As always, Sarah, what are you reading?
I wasn't prepared at all for this question. I'm just kidding. I'm actually reading the Last Apothecary by Sarah Penner. It's on my Second Chance Reading Challenge for this year, which I talked a little bit about last month. Guys, I'm rocking it.
You are.
I'm rocking it. I think this is actually like number 6 from that list. And I mean, there's a lot on the list. But I'm like, man, this is awesome. And I also kind of have an update, because we said that I would give an update if anything happened from the cookbook episode. And I would like to say that when I go home tonight, I am cooking a Dolly Parton box recipe. But it's Dolly Parton. So we're halfway there, folks. We talked about the Dolly Parton cookbook, and now it's a box brownie mix, but it's a Dolly Parton one. So halfway there. You know what I mean? But what book are you reading?
Okay, I am listening to a book right now, and I do have to say, if you're going to read this book, I highly recommend the audiobook. It is called Better Life Through Birding, Notes from a Black Man in a Natural World, and it's by Christian Cooper. And I don't, you guys might recognize him. It's kind of during the pandemic, and everybody was still 6 feet apart, and and he is a black man in New York City. He was birding in Central Park. There was like a video that had gone viral of an incident with him and a dog walker. But it led to him writing this book. And so I went in to learn more about birding, because I think I'm entering my birding years.
Oh, okay.
I'm very fascinated by birds for some reason lately.
I love that for you.
I can't explain it. I'm still trying to work it out in my head. But
you're good.
I went in to learn more about birding and maybe like self-reflection. But what I've been getting out of it is just this incredible life. There's a lot of stuff in there about parent-child relationships. He did actually come out. So like there's him kind of dealing, kind of figuring some of that out with himself and with his family. There's a lot of world travel. Like he has been all over the world, like everywhere. And then talking about the birds, in different places. And it's really cool. But the reason for the audiobook, it whistles. There are, at the beginning of chapters, there's like certain bird calls. And then like, and it's one of those things, like if you do become a birder, like once you hear certain calls, you can't unhear them. Oh. And it's fascinating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying it.
All right. Bethany's entering her birding era.
Yeah. Oh, and he worked for Marvel. Spoiler.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Plot twist. He worked for Marvel.
Huh.
I know. It's really cool.
I'm really starting to think that people, like other people and I, don't have the same amount of hours in the day. So,
yes.
I love that for them. That's amazing. But I'm like, how?
Yeah.
So, I love that. It's great.
It's very cool.
Okay, well, if you have plot twist books that you want us to know about and you're like, guys, read this. Why have you not read this? Or why have you not talked about it? Let us know. You can email us at themulberrylibrary@gmail.com and share them with us. And with that, Bethany?
Happy reading, Mulberry.